Recently, I started writing. I just opened my laptop and started typing. In the first few lines, I almost started crying, but by the end of the sentence, I just started smiling. Because this can't be reality. I mean, if it is, I'm thinking, why is this world mad at me? Dying without living, that's the only tragedy, but I'm feeling stuck in this system, and it's playing with my sanity. Because I've got dreams and ambitions on top of dreams and ambitions. It's the only way I can make a sense of me living. So if I don't live my dreams and reach my ambitions, then I've got to ask the question, why the hell am I living? But the fact is, I'm on a life mission, trying to make a change from a powerful position, which I'm starting to realize is my sanity system. My friend said, if you're having big dreams, it means you're sleeping too much. I said, if I wake up cranky, I ain't sleeping enough. Because I'm trying to function in the world of the tough, so making my vision come alive is becoming a must. Whoa, Aaron, when did you get this deep? It's happened so soon. I said, don't worry. I'm still the same boy from Tottenham that loves cartoons. That's Hey Arnold, Rugrats, and Looney Tunes. I'm just trying to open doors that we could all walk through. Because my biggest fear is being that almost nearly dude. I mean, what do I mean by the word system? Is it government, war, religion? Because you see, at school, that stuff used to bore me, but I'll save those topics for my next spoken story. When I talk about system, I mean trapped in a cycle. I mean, imagine if I spent 20 years in education, right? That's a degree and a master's. Then I spent the next 40 years to pay it off, and that's just for starters. Now, I'm not trying to be a preacher or even a martyr. I'm just a man with some questions in search of some answers. Because I guess time is money, and money is time, but if I work all that time, then that money ain't mine. But let me guess, it's going to my pension. And I better get on the phone to God and ask for a life extension, because I feel like we're programmed to walk in a certain way, but we don't, because we're scared of a certain change. We're telling stories in a priceless age, and this life is like a big book, and it's going to take all our hands to turn this page. But this book is like 12 rounds, so who's ready for boxing? Our minds are bigger than a squared ring, we can't be boxed in. Haters will put a red light in front and shout, stop him, just put a clock on their wrist so they can start watching. But I digress, because I'm talking about a system that's broken. Claustrophobic, feeling like I'm choking. Scared to tell my mum, not sure that I'm coping, because it feels like I got a key to a door that just won't open. But I guess everybody has these dark thoughts. Maybe help is something I should ask for. Because my mind won't let me do something I can't stand for, hence why yesterday I just quit my last job. Stepping at my brain for a second. Because insanity could be the meanest of weapons. Confused about what direction I'm taking like a gangster, not sure what side he's repping. We're all looking for sanity in this system. We'll keep looking because it don't happen in an instant. I put my words on paper so you can't be mad at me and telling you guys my story. Helps with my system sanity. Thank you. You see, I'm really happy to be able to share that piece with you, because that is kind of about what my whole talk is about, which is the idea of change. And when I wrote that piece, I was in a stage where I was confused, I was angry, I was upset, I was emotional, and that's what came from it. So I want to kind of take you, and that was called System Sanity, by the way. So I want to kind of take you a bit back on a journey. So it's great being back in a university lecture hall, because I graduated last summer. And like most graduates, you're full of beans when you leave. You're ready to leave your mark on the world. I was very happy, like, yes, I finished my course. But I guess I was a bit naive in terms of being aware of the obstacles that I might face. And how all these ideas and these creative projects and all these things I wanted to do as soon as I left university were kind of had to be put on a back burner. Mainly because I was broke. Like most students, most graduates will tell you, you come out of university sometimes more broke than what you do when you go in. So this is actually quite difficult to take. So I ended up taking the first job that was presented to me. And I won't say what the job was or what sector it was in, but I will say that it was difficult for me to motivate myself to do something that I wasn't necessarily enjoying. Or I didn't feel like I was doing something constructive, something that helped not just myself, but the people around me. Especially when that's the mentality I had as soon as I left university. Many times I would finish work and have a conversation with my mum. Mum, I hate this job. I can't take it. And she would often say, Aaron, you're only 22, stop crying. Now, I was never crying, I'll say. But it was very much hard to take. So I would say, Mum, I don't like this job. This isn't the plans I had when I finished university. This isn't what I wanted to do. She'd say, Aaron, you've got loads of thoughts and ideas. Why don't you just put them on paper? So we talk about put them on paper. I'm angry. I want to write things down. I want to complain. But anyway, so I don't argue with my mum too much, so I'll put them on paper. And from it came that first piece of poetry. So that piece of poetry which I shared with you at the beginning was the first piece I ever wrote. And that's why I'm so happy to be able to share it with you, because that was the beginning for me of making change. So I took this piece, showed it to my mum, showed it to my friends, performed it to my family. They said, it's great, Aaron, you got a talent there. And I was like, yeah, I do. I think it's a good piece as well, if I don't mind saying so myself. So I took it straight, and I went to work the next day, and I handed in my resignation. I said, thank you very much, boss, but this isn't for me. I want to go try and do something that affects and changes the world. And I done my little dance, bang, 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 and I headed out, right? And I guess that was the beginning of change, because I was stepping out of what I like to call the comfort zone, which was having a job. Whether I liked it or not, it was the comfort zone, because I was comfortable. It was payment, it was, regular work, regular income, it was fine. And I was leaving it to go into what I call the unknown, or for want of a better word, unemployment. And I was thinking, okay, great, so I'm now in the unknown. And within this time, I'm writing, I'm thinking, I'm writing, I'm thinking. And it's going great. I'm developing my love for poetry and public speaking, I guess. And it kind of came to me that, okay, so change is now in motion. But how do I want to make it long-lasting? What is it I want to get from myself that I could bring to people? I said, Aaron, what you want to do is leave a positive impact on the people around you. You want to work with people, in particular young people. So I said, great, there's two ways I could do this. One through my words and second through my actions. And I have to do this between both my words and my actions, because to me they work in unison together. I said, through my words, tick. I'm writing poetry, I'm writing spoken word, and I'm making sure it's got a nice message of uplifting positivity and all of that stuff. I was like, okay, how do I do this through my actions now, on my day-to-day basis? So I started working for a youth charity. And within my role, I said, great, fantastic, because it allowed me to work with kids that have maybe difficulties in behavior, maybe poor attendance, not great at particular subjects. And it's kind of down to me to act as a mentor to help them, which is currently what I do now, where I try to park guidance, wisdom, and knowledge into these young people. So I said, great, Aaron, you've got your words, you've got your actions. You're doing both to create this change that you've been thinking and talking about. And I must say, so this is all over a time period of, let's say about 4 months. I graduated last year in July, and I was working for a youth charity, let's say in October. So within that, left the old job, started writing. There's like a little 4 months gap. So if I put it over there, and I now stand here, I'm looking at it and saying, wow, you've made a great change. The change that you spoke about, the change that you said you wanted to do, you've now tried to do it and go out and implement it. But I also said to myself, that's not normal. I mean, it's great, don't get me wrong, it's a great feeling, but it's also kind of weird. It's not normal, it's kind of scary, actually. And that kind of led me to my next point, which I'm constantly thinking about, which is change and what we, as a society, as human beings, think of it. Because I genuinely believe we're all designed for greatness. We all have goals and ambitions. We all have aspirations and things that we want to try and achieve throughout our lives. But there's also one thing that we also have that stops us from sometimes reaching this, and that's fear. Now, if we was all to write a massive list of our biggest fears, we'd probably come up with hundreds between all of us, hundreds and hundreds. But I guess one common fear between all of us may be what people think of us. As we try to create change and do something different, we're sometimes governed by social expectancy in terms of what people think, what people make of it. Before I go further about fear, I want to share this next piece with you, which is called Don't Choke. And this is about overcoming fear. So it goes like this. When I jump on stage, my first thought is, don't choke, don't forget that line. Because to performers, that's seen as the ultimate crime. I mean, if I say something deep, then say, sorry, I effed up, then real talk, that message got messed up. Because honestly, this is my craft, so why shouldn't I perfect my art? You want to hear he's hard or he's got bars, not he's reaching and not for the stars. Because I fear stumbling, if only you knew that. You see that long pause? As a poet, I could do that. Performers get nervous. It's not really a news flash, but the show must go on, so we've got to get through that. Got you thinking, that brother's deep, that brother's cool. What are you talking about? He's just stalling, fool. He forgot his lines. He might be here a while, reminiscent of Eminem in 8 Mile. Can you hear that silence? He's controlling the room. He knows how to handle us. No, I forgot my lines. Now I'm thinking of Football Manager. I got an away fixture that could be a problem and 2 players suspended. So what's my next option? But if I style it out, no one will clock it. Back to the start, no reason to stop it. Just repeat that last line, just repeat that last line, just repeat that last line. And bang, right back on topic. Because I guess it's normal to fear the stage, outside my comfort zone to defer a change. You see, I was talking about the prospect of choking, but the thought of not performing is worse than the one of not knowing. Because I love writing, it's like a personal statement. I should have put this in my personal statement. Whether I'm standing on stage or walking down the pavements, I'm constantly thinking about writing something to amaze us. Because we've all got fears in life, it's only normal. But then we give it the power to become something forceful, dictating our lives, which way to live it. If you ask me, fear is another word for limit. But all jokes aside, I guess it's kind of healthy. Overcoming our fear is a new part of wealthy. So somebody tell me, somebody help me. I'm a Spurs fan, and after 2 weeks ago, my biggest fear was Chelsea. Don't choke. Maybe I should change the title, because actually it's the message that's vital. It's not don't choke, it's don't fear. Apologies, who am I to say don't fear? How about overcome fear? Is that fair? Because I guess that's where we want to be ultimately, because our biggest fear is only that, because we give it the power to be. Thank you. So there's 2 parts of that piece I want to touch on. The first part was what I said, what did I say? About knowing. I'll go on to the second part, all right? Which is at the end, where I said about our biggest fear is only that because we give it the power to be. And what I mean by that is fear is put on a pedestal. And I'm talking about all of us. We all have fears. It's natural, it's normal. We put it on a pedestal, and we leave it there. And we say that fear will stop me from doing that change. And by the way, when I talk about change, it is open to interpretation. It's all very subjective. I don't know anyone here in this room personally. So it is down to how you perceive it. But that fear there affects us from doing that. Would you believe me if I said I was scared and fearful of performing today? If I told you this was my first real public speaking event? And how I was very nervous, shaking in the back, and just generally scared to be here. I guess for me to be here, I had to take that fear off the pedestal and put it in a cupboard. Now, you see, that's not easy to do. It's not easy for any of us to do. But it's something we must do to create change, to empower not just ourselves, but the people around us. Now, when I was thinking about my conclusion, I said, Aaron, you've got to say something that really rounds it off in a nice way. And I was constantly thinking, what can I say that could sound really cool? And yeah, he done all right there. Yeah? But I was thinking, the idea of change is something that we all have. The meaning and the definition of it is something that we all have. Very different from each other. But it is down to us to make it happen. So let's not be governed by social expectancy as we strive for greatness and full potential. Thank you.